1, 2, 3, audio testing. 1, 2, 3, audio testing. Good evening, my dear Lourdes. Today is April 26th, 2021. Today we're going to conclude our third unit for this module, okay? And oh well, today I decided to start on this live worksheet about present perfect and present perfect continuous. I have sent this worksheet on the WhatsApp group. All you have to do is click on the link, answer them, and after you are finished, all you have to do is fill in, send it to my email, okay? So once you send it to my email, this will appear, my dear Lourdes, group level. As I mentioned, you can put upper int, upper intermediate, school subject. I am not really worried about that, so you can put an X. And you also need your full name, okay? So here goes your full name, okay? The teacher's email, I am also going to copy and paste on the WhatsApp group. So for the moment, this is going to be our warm-up. It should not take no more than 15 minutes, okay? Your classmate, Melissa, told me that she was going to be a little bit late, and I do not know anything about Shara. But for the moment, we can work on this warm-up sheet, and that should be all. Okay, Lourdes?
Okay, teacher.
Thank you very much. So I'll see you at around 5:20, 5:25, so that we can go over the answers, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, audio testing. Melissa, welcome. How are you today?
Good, teacher, sorry.
No problem, don't worry. Today we're starting with a warm-up. This is from live worksheets. I've shared the information on the WhatsApp group. The link is there. All you have to do is click on the link, answer, and then send it to my personal email, which is juanesulu.com, and we will check this worksheet in about 10 minutes. So go ahead. We are working, reviewing present perfect versus present perfect continuous. So take a few moments to concentrate and remember the formula for these two, which I've also shared here on the screen, as you can see. So I'll see you in 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, I answered them on the web page and then send you the answers, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please. That way you can know your answer and we can check online.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
please.
Thank you.
Yes. By the way, Lourdes and Melissa, in order to cope with today's time, let's do the first 15 questions. We are only doing half of it. There are 30. I only want 15. 15, okay? Thank you.
Okay, teacher. Sorry, we have to write only the, o sea, solo ¿cómo sería la oración contando lo que está en rojo o toda la oración, incluido lo que está en negro?
Yes, lo de rojo es lo que vas a tener que deducir si va en presente perfecto o presente perfecto continuo. Por ejemplo, la número 1 dice I to count bicycles y después dice one is missing, falta una. Entonces, yo, I have counted bicycles or I have been counting bicycles, meaning en español sería yo he contado bicicletas, las bicicletas, falta una, o yo he estado contando las bicicletas. ¿Cuál crees que sería la más correcta?
Yo he estado contando.
Exacto, ¿no? Porque pues falta una, apenas me di cuenta que falta una. Y pues de eso trata esta actividad, ¿ok? Entonces sería I lo de rojo sería lo conjugado. Yo lo voy a poner con todo y subject pronoun, ¿no? I have been counting, nada más. Bicycles.
Ya, súper. Ya, sí,
Yes.
justo estoy haciendo eso. Entonces está bien. Gracias.
Yes.
Teacher,
Yes.
¿qué tenía que poner en school subject?
Ponle X, por favor, una X, an X.
Okay.
Thank you.
Teacher in group or level, pongo su correo.
No, pones upper, punto, espacio, INT de intermediate.
Ah, ya.
Arriba tu nombre y tienes que poner mi correo que también está en WhatsApp Group.
¿Dónde pongo lo de su correo? En...
Creo que por de predeterminado le llega su correo, porque a nosotros no nos sale.
Ah, muy bien, claro. Sí, sí, porque yo lo mandé, es correcto.
Ay, entonces solo lo del upper int y la X en school subject, ¿no ve?
Yes, yes.
Ok.
Okay, my dear students, so as I mentioned, today we were going to, today I decided to work on this verbal tense, which is what we learn in this third unit, especially present perfect continuous. Now, I've taken some minutes to figure out why number one is not present perfect continuous. I have two conclusions. Conclusion number one, the user's nationality, the user who uploaded this exercise, one, he's from Spain, and two, I've noticed that answers are not going to be shared, so I am taking Lourdes' worksheet to work and to read as a group, at least 7 of them. And then on the ones that we have incorrect, the ones that she has incorrect, of course, it means it should be the other verbal tense. So number one here, I have counted the bicycles. one is missing. He contado las bicicletas, pero también queda el otro tiempo presente perfecto continuo, pero por cuestiones de nacionalidad, supongo. Bueno, Lourdes, you have it correct. Melissa and I, we learn from it. Number 2, go ahead, Lourdes, can you read it?
Okay, the doctor has examined my injured arm. Thanks God it isn't broken.
Thank you. So the doctor has examined, okay, here we know that it is present perfect. I have, and then the verb in present past participle. That's the verbal tense. Past participle, remember, we have two types of groups, two types of verbs, regular and irregular, okay? Remember, regular verbs that end with ed, they usually have two different pronunciations. It's 3, but I concentrate on only 2. One of them should be with the ID, for example, examined, id, examined. And the other one is with a T sound at the end, for example, like, liked, okay? But never examined. Good. Number 3, continue, Melissa.
Okay, her phone has been ringing for 10 minutes. It annoys me.
Thank you. Number 4, that's the teachers. They have been building this bridge for 2 years. There's mud and mess around. Good. So far you're doing great, Lourdes. Continue with number 5.
We have talked 10 kilometers. We are so exhausted.
Thank you. Great pronunciation. Number 6, Melissa.
That boy has eaten 4 ice creams. Don't give him more.
Good. So that boy has eaten 4 ice creams. Ya pasó. Good. Number 7, that's mine. I haven't been talking with him yet. That does not sound right. Here you have it as present perfect, so I should change it to present perfect continuous. I have not been talking with him yet. But that should be correct. Here you have it incorrect because it is a verbal tense. It's not about the apostrophe. Everything looks great. So let's only go over the ones that you are missing. So we are going to correct it. So number 10, go ahead, Lourdes, with the correct answer.
Anne has been doing anything to stop her friends gossiping.
Gossiping, el chisme, ¿ok? Entonces sería Anne has not been doing anything to stop her friend gossiping, ¿ok? Being, present perfect continuous. And number 12, Melissa.
I've been driving for 10 years.
Because you are still able to drive, okay? So we're going to stop right there this is just for time purpose, but in order to have these type of activities or to have them correct, there are many obstacles. For example, number 1, the first one, I really think that present perfect continuous could be placed instead of the other one. So, well, that was a little warm-up from our 3rd unit. And today I am going to try and finish. That way, the only thing we have to do on Monday, Tuesday, on Wednesday would be perhaps pronunciation skill and the review quiz. So for the moment, we are going to continue and activate the different skills that have not been activated. So speaking is going at the end. Task listening, we are going to begin with that. Pronunciation, we are going to concentrate on how to stress on compound words, okay? For example, football. Football is a compound noun, and the stress word goes in the first vowel. Football, football, not football, football, okay? So that's basically it. So let's begin with task listening from our third unit. Okay, so in the video, Jackie and Amy talk about classes at the college. So remember when we read or went over the unit's objectives, we are supposed to listen to a college professor giving an announcement. So you're going to hear an advisor at the university talking to a new student. She is telling the student how to register for classes. Listen to the advisor. As you listen, drag the places the student must go in order to register in the correct order. Not all of the answers will be used. So here are the locations where the student has to go: Andrews Library, Administration Building, etc., etc. So I will play it first. And due to timing, and since there is only one activity for this one, I think you can do this individually, but I've already explained what you have to do. So let's just listen.
So you want to register for classes this semester? Okay, here's what you'll need to do. Since you're a full-time student, you first need to go to the administration building and go to the student accounting office. At the student accounting office, go to the undergraduate student accounts window and show them your student ID. They'll verify that your tuition and fees are up to date and give you a green clear form. That means that your account is clear. That's what you've got to do first. Next, take the clear form to the student union building and go to student advising. Ask to see a course advisor. Show your clear form to the course advisor, and then he or she will look up your intake form and give you a pink printout of classes that you're eligible for. That pink form is called your A list. That means your authorized list, or classes that you're authorized to take. Okay? You can only register for the classes on your A list. Then you need to go to the Dixon building and go to registration with your green clear form and your pink A list. Then sit down at one of the computers, log on, enter your student ID number, and follow the on-screen directions. Okay? And by the way, you might want to hurry. A few thousand students will be registering for classes this week.
Okay, so there you had it. This is more like a listening activity in which you have to do it live. So it's quite different. Interesting how way too many instructions are given at once. Perhaps the students can, the university administration staff can give instructions either by placing them on the internet or by telling each of the students once they arrive to a certain building. And there are more than 1,000 students, so they're going to repeat the instructions 1,000 times. So this is not a real live situation, but it's only for practicing procedures such as this one. So with that being said, let me close this one. And I know that Lourdes will attend to her class, so I must hurry up. So this will be activated and the due date is on Friday. All right, so pronunciation. This is the one that I want to concentrate on. This is a stress in a noun compound. What is a compound? We know that it is basically two words connected, but there is a formula on how to pronounce them, how to stress the correct syllable. I am going to play a video with more examples. That way you can have a thorough understanding on this. Once we finish with that, we will try to work on reading and writing. So let's open this YouTube video. All right, and let's listen to it.
Hello everyone, how are you today? This is Mark. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So what do these words have in common? Shoelace, passerby, sister-in-law, seat belt. If you want to know the answer, stay tuned because we're going to talk about compound nouns. Right, we're going to talk about compound nouns. A noun is a word that names a person, an animal, a place, an idea, or a thing. There can be concrete or abstract nouns. A concrete noun is something that you can touch. For example, a table, a whiteboard, a house, a fire, an apple. Things that you can touch. An abstract noun is, for example, nature, love, happiness. They're feelings, ideas, emotions, qualities, things that you cannot touch. They're usually introduced with articles, indefinite or definite articles. For example, an apple, a house, a computer, the dog, etc. Also, they can be introduced with possessive adjectives like my suitcase, his shirt, etc. And determiners, for example, this glass, that plant, etc. I said that we're going to talk about compound nouns. It's a fixed expression made with more than one word. So the first rule to follow is that the first part of the compound noun usually is a purpose or kind. I will give you some examples later on. The second part usually is who or what. The stress is on the first syllable. So weekend, weekend. Not weekend, but weekend. And you can sometimes omit the second word only after mentioning it first. So, for example, how often do you use your personal computer? Personal computer here is a compound noun, right? And I can answer, I use my computer every evening. So I don't need to mention personal, right? So I just omit personal and I just mention computer. Don't forget that I used in this case, the possessive adjective my to identify which computer I'm talking about. Now, some compound nouns are written with hyphens. For example, babysitter, and here we have a hyphen. Or brother-in-law, here we have two hyphens. And letterbox. These are examples, and there are a lot of them. Others can be written with or without a hyphen. For example, air conditioner. You can write a hyphen or you can omit it. Living room, okay, with or without the hyphen. Some compounds that consist of more than two words are written partly with a hyphen and a space. For example, back seat, and here we have a hyphen, back seat passenger, no hyphen. We just add a space. mother tongue speaker, for example. Now, obviously, compound nouns can be countable and uncountable. And I listed some countable ones. Blood donor. Here we don't need a hyphen. Blood donor. Bus stop. Car park. Uncountable ones. Further education. So we don't say further educations, but we say further education. Do it yourself. Fast food. And then the last one, toilet paper. Now, I'm going to erase this and I'm going to show you other points about compound nouns. Actually, I think it's the most important point in this lesson. Right, so we're back. Compound nouns are made of two words usually, but sometimes more. They're made up of noun plus noun. For example, house, wife, classmate, classroom, etc. Then we have adjective plus noun. For example, high school, old age, dining room, greenhouse. Or noun plus verb, rain, fall, train, spotting, etc. Noun plus adverb, passerby, runner up. Or verb plus noun, driving license, washing machine. Adverb plus noun, bystander, for example. And adjective plus verb, dry cleaning. So now, let's recap. In this lesson, we talked about compound nouns, but I first started by describing what a noun is. A compound noun is a word made up of two or more words put together. There can be noun plus noun, adjective plus noun plus verb, noun plus adverb, etc. Just like nouns, there can be countable or uncountable compound nouns. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please
Okay, so one of the reasons of going over this video is because I think that the Pearson platform's explanation is not as thorough as I wanted it to be. So now we have a better idea about noun and compound nouns, okay? So with that being said, for example, after watching this video, I think that you are now ready to pronounce what's being demanded from this unit, and it's not that difficult. For example, remember it also has the pronunciation, so all you have to do is repeat, and of course pre-record yourself. So I guess I already went over how to work with these pre-recorded activities. So let me just give you an example here so that you are able to do it afterwards. And for this week, I will only activate one activity per each explanation, not two. For example, here, I listen.
Nick met Jackie at the juice bar.
Okay, so the compound would be juice bar, okay? So remember, all you have to do is remember to perhaps emphasize, stress juice bar.
Nick met Jackie at the juice bar.
And well, that's basically all you have to do is to pre-record yourself. And if you don't like it, there is an option in which once you press record again, it will pre-record yourself one more time. So, so I don't think we need to go over the explanation, at least for this compound activities. And as I mentioned, I will only activate one, so it will be this one. So this is now ready. So I will only, so this is the activity, this is the explanation if you want to go over it, but I already went over it, and it's not as thorough as the video I shared. So that's one explanation, intonation explanation of today. The other one would be rising intonation on some type of questions. For example, I mentioned, or I remember reading on the glossary that we were going to go over this type of questions. For example, this one. So before you go, Lourdes, let me quickly go over the embedded questions, which is a question within a question. Okay, so I will go over the explanation, and then I will only activate one activity. All right, it's going to be the same for participle adjectives. These are the adjectives, for example, exciting, excited. So that's all we are doing for today, my dear Lourdes. You still have about 6 more minutes, correct? Maybe 5.
Yes, teacher.
Good, so let's go and go over these embedded questions.
Hi. Today we're going to look at embedded WH and yes/no questions. I don't know if you've already studied them. Do you know how we form them? We're going to talk about that too. An embedded question is a question that's inside another sentence.
What do you mean? I know what you mean.
What you mean is an embedded question. Embedded WH questions begin with a question word.
When does the class begin? Can you tell me when the class begins?
Embedded yes/no questions begin with if. Is she there? Do you know if she's there? Notice that we use statement word order, not question order, in embedded questions. Do you know where she is? Do you know if she's there? We don't use a form of the auxiliary verb do in the embedded question.
I know what you mean. I wonder if she has an agent.
You can have an embedded question inside a statement or inside another question. When the embedded question is in a statement, use a period at the end of the sentence.
I know what you want.
When the embedded question is in a question, use a question mark at the end of the sentence.
Can you tell me what you want?
Okay, for that WH embedded question, I am going to work with Melissa on one of the two activities, but that's not going to be activated, so only one. And the last, verbal tense or verbal explanation or participle adjective explanation is this one. So before I begin, Lourdes, do you still have time?
I think no, teacher. I have to
Good.
go right now.
Perfect. So the explanation is activated and only one activity. So let me launch the poll and I'll see you tomorrow for our presentation day. Okay, Lourdes?
Okay, teacher. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Okay, Melissa, so let's go over our last explanation. This deals with adjectives. I am fascinated by, or the baseball game was fascinating, okay? So it's about feelings. Let's go over this explanation.
Hi. Today we're going to review an interesting topic, participial adjectives. Are you interested in finding out about them? Interesting and interested are two examples of participial adjectives. Let's talk about when to use them.
Participial adjectives end in ed and ing. They usually describe feelings or reactions, but the two forms have different meanings.
Examples of participial adjectives are bored and boring.
We use ed adjectives to talk about how someone feels.
I'm not surprised.
In the example, Amy is talking about how she feels. We use ing adjectives to talk about someone or something that causes a feeling or reaction.
I saw Madonna. It was so exciting.
In the example, Jackie is talking about how seeing Madonna in a restaurant caused a reaction in her. Seeing Madonna was exciting. As a result, Jackie felt excited.
Okay, well, basically another rule to remind ourselves in order to not make mistakes would be for feelings or for things, we always use it with the ing form, and whenever you're talking about your personal feelings, for example, as stated here, when you're talking about your personal feelings, and you're talking about yourself as a human, okay, then it should be ed, okay? So for humans, ed, for things, ing. How are we going to know that? Well, let's work on one activity. So you're going to help me, Melissa, that way you can be, how can I say this? That way you can have more practice, and that way you can feel more comfortable using this. So let's go ahead and try to do this. I'm going to be your secretary. I am going to type the answers that you give me. So Let's begin. Professor Roberts.
Teacher, can you reshare your screen?
Sure.
It's a little bit blurry.
Thank you. Sure, sure. Okay, so Zoom meeting locked me off, no problem. We are back. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Is the screen better now? Is it clear?
Yes, I can read it now. Okay, so I read the sentence and then I said what I think it's the correct answer.
Yes.
Okay, and Professor Roberts' classes are always interesting.
Because we are talking about the classes, that way you now know it's ing, okay? Good. Next.
At the end of the day, I'm always tired, but Professor Roberts' class wakes me, wakes me, wakes me up. He's never boring.
Okay. But Professor Roberts' class wakes me up. He's never. So who or what are we talking about? Are we talking about the class? I guess not, because there's a period. He is never
boring.
So we're talking, okay? Good, next.
I'm very satisfied with Professor Roberts' ability to explain things clearly. I've learned a lot in this class.
Good. So I'm very satisfied. So do you think this is the correct spelling?
I think so, because no podría ser con Y si sigue el ed.
Imagine if it were with the ed, satisfied, okay? So let's leave it like that. Next.
Improvisation is very exciting. You never know what's going to happen.
Sounds right, sounds correct, makes sense, good. I've never
been so inspired in a class before. Professor Roberts makes me want to do my very best work.
Great. Theater is the last word, theater. So go ahead.
Okay. I love this acting class. The teacher is amazing. He knows so much about the theater.
Okay. Last one.
I recommend Professor Roberts' class to all the students who are interested in an acting career.
Okay, good. So more than, as I mentioned, sometimes the explanation is more difficult than the actual activity. Here there is one which I do not want you to correct, but let me just submit it and then go over whatever it is that we had incorrect. So submit. Okay, so you are actually 100% correct. I believe that you have a better idea, okay, about this type of adjective, participial adjectives. Last but not least, all right. Okay, so here we have the last explanation, okay, about a certain type of question. So let me share it. Okay, so we are continuing with where and why do we stress certain words, okay? Before we continue, let me read the given information. In rising intonation, the voice changes in pitch on the stressed syllable of the most important word in the sentence. The pitch can either go up or down to emphasize that syllable. After that syllable, the voice raises or continues to raise until the end of the sentence. Okay, so now let's go with the actual explanation. So here we are going over raising intonation in some questions.
When we ask yes-no questions, we often use rising intonation. Is he your brother? We use rising intonation with tag questions to ask a real question, to check information, or to express hope that something is true. You can come, can't you? In conversation, we sometimes say phrases and statements with rising intonation, or we can add a word like right with rising intonation to ask a question. For example, that's it? That's okay with you, right? Listen to these lines from the dialogue. Notice how the speaker uses rising intonation on the part of the sentence shown in blue.
Are you almost here? Are you almost here? Are you almost here? Can you see her? Can you see her? Do you know if she's there? Do you know if she's there? You've done your homework, haven't you? You've done your homework, haven't you?
My homework? My homework? You're in the drama program, right? You're in the drama program, right?
Okay, so when we use a language and we want to make questions or neglect or even come up with an utterance, we must try to follow the intonation. That way, many positive results will come. Okay, either from becoming a fluent speaker with not only fluency but pronunciation. So this type of tips, aids, will help us. Okay, so we are talking about rising intonation. Let's see one activity from this intonation explanation. Okay, so we are going to listen to each sentence, listen to the intonation. Is the speaker asking a real question or making a statement? Choose the correct answer. So let's listen.
Jackie's in the drama program?
That's an easy one, right? So what's number one?
Question.
Question. And well, as you can see, this is an easy activity.
She's taking an improvisation class.
What would the answer? Statement and so on. So I now know that you got I know that you are now familiarized with this type of intonation, and that we can differentiate between a question, a statement, or even a negative statement. So we are only going to activate one activity for this type of activity. So we are basically finished with the skills that we were supposed to cover. So today I am going to try and work. There's a speaking skill, but that's always at the end. So let's go with a reading and finish with a reading. So we have a pre-reading, and that should I'm pretty sure we're going to be introduced to vocab, or at least the plot of the story. So smartphones. So I remember when we read the summary, we were going to read about this technological era. So smartphones have changed the way people manage their lives. Look at the image of a smartphone. What is probably the main message of the cartoonist? Choose the correct answer. So we have a picture, an image, and we are going to predict. What do you think is the cartoonist desire to transmit? So, okay, let's take about 5 seconds.
Teacher, I can see the screen. You're still on the menu.
Okay. Tell me whenever you are there. Was that an embedded question? Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see?
No. The screen is still black.
Okay. Let let me try send it to the WhatsApp group, okay?
Okay. Okay, I have the picture.
All right, so take a look at it, and then we can predict what is the cartoonist's main goal? What is he trying to do? So I have the following options. Smartphones make us busier. Smartphones allow us to multitask. Smartphones enable us to work or study anywhere. Smartphones let us connect with other people around the world. Last but not least, all of the above.
I don't know. I'm between the second one or even the fourth one. No, the fifth one. All of the above, but I think it's the second one, like multitasking, because there's a lot of apps on the picture.
Okay, but what about number one? Do you think smartphones make us busier? For example, due to work, especially during this quarantine?
See, yes, probably yes, too. I don't know. I would say the last one, but I think the third one is not a good option, or the work or study, because it's not implied.
Okay, smartphones enable us to work or study anywhere. If you, for example, if you have your cell phone and you have like a roaming connection plan, you can actually study on the bus or in a park. So I guess it's somehow correct. According to the Pearson platform, the correct answer is all of the above. So it makes sense. We have, by looking at this picture, we have everything, okay? Even a calculator, a television, okay? So now let's go to the actual reading, okay? Let's see. So we still have time, and we are going to be left with the speaking, the quiz, and the writing. So we still have three more abilities, skills. So here we have read the sentence, then match each word with its definition. So the words estimate, client, security, trend. So here, can you see what I'm projecting?
I'm still in the picture. on the predictions.
Right. So just listen and let me know which of these four vocabs am I talking about. Okay. For example, I have estimate, client, security, and trend. I'm going to read number one. The way something develops or changes.
Trend?
Yes. For example, Luis Miguel series is trending on Netflix. Number two, or the second, another definition, protection from bad things that might happen. Do you want me to read the vocab?
Yes, please.
Estimate, client, security.
Security.
Good. Person who pays for professional advice or help.
What were the last options?
Estimate and client.
Client.
Good. Last one. Guess about the size or amount.
Estimate.
Exactly. So let me share that on WhatsApp. That way you and your other classmates would know. And okay. I guess we are now ready for the reading. I have activated the reading. Perhaps you can log in and go to the smartphone phenomenon article, please.
Okay.
Good.
We're on unit 3, right?
Unit 3, reading, smartphone.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I have it. I read it?
Okay, so I also have it, I am projecting it. So let's click on the light bulb on el foquito.
Okay.
And there we have different vocabulary, okay? So only read the vocabulary, okay?
Okay, starting on
phenomenon,
which is something that happens or exists in society, science, or nature that is unusual or difficult to understand. Homelessness is not a new phenomenon, but social scientists don't seem to be able to figure out how to stop it.
Okay, I have number 2, remote, adjective, far away in distance or time. For example, Osip was born in a small village in a remote part in Siberia. Next.
Okay, breakdown. If a machine breaks down, it stops operating. My car broke down again last week. I guess I'd better get a new one.
Good. So when you come to it stops, try not to make a space. For example, you said it stops. No, it stops. It stops. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Okay.
Agarramos la pronunciación. Good. Ease, to stop. Ease, the quality of doing something easily or being done easily. For example, now that they've built a new train line out to the airport, we can get there with ease, okay? With ease. Next.
Billion number. It would be 1 billion.
Yes.
The government has spent billions of dollars on the project. For us, that would be 1 million, right?
3, 6.
Oh, no. No, sorry. It would be a billion still.
Billion.
Okay.
Yes. Here, on the numbers, I am not a really good friend of numbers. So I know that in Spanish, it's like mil millones, un billón, something like that.
Yes.
Something like that, right? Good. But here I notice has spent. Ahí nos quedamos con la pronunciación de las dos S y lo juntamos. Una leación. Has spent. No hagas la pausa. Me toca la que sigue. Explode, explode. To suddenly increase greatly in amount, number, or degree. For example, California's population used to be fairly small, but it exploded following the war. Okay, so it expanded. Adequate.
Okay, adequate. Enough for a particular purpose. The information I've been given isn't adequate to do the job.
Feature. A part of something that you notice because it seems important, interesting, or typical. Example, many buyers are interested in the car safety features.
Okay, text messaging, the system or process of sending typed messages using electronic equipment. Example, because of text messaging, I can check my email messages using my cell phone.
Good. Access. The system or process of sending typed messages using electronic equipment. Because of text messaging, I can check my email messages using my cell phone.
Okay, download. To move information from one part of a computer system to another, or from one computer to another. Example, it won't take you long to download the schedule.
So have you ever downloaded something that should not be downloaded, Melissa?
Probably.
Probably, because nowadays we don't know what's right, what has copyrights and what not, right? Yes, good. So it is now 6:30. I don't think that 8 minutes will cover at least all the ideas, okay, from this text and of course, one of the activities. So since 2 of your classmates are missing, how about we call it for the day, and perhaps you can take those 10 minutes to, well, work on certain activities that we went over today. Next, on our next class, we are going to concentrate on, well, this has already been done, so it's only speaking. Where is my speaking? Well, my speaking, my reading, writing, and my quiz. So that's all we are doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, my dear Melissa? Good.
Okay,
so
teacher.
Activate, and you are now free to work on them, okay? Try to answer the poll, and that should be all. Thank you very much, Melissa.
Thank you very much, teacher.
See you tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.